Obviously, Devontae's as good a receiver as been in this league for a long time, so really happy for his day. He did a nice job, obviously getting open, making some great plays in the red zone, putting the ball in the end zone for us. So we're lucky to have him, and just happy that we got it done.
He's a killer. That's what killers do. They go out and kill. So it's never easy when you're operating in elements like that, but we started off a little slow, he and I, and then but the rest of the offense was rolling, so we were able to kind of keep the ball moving and then found our opportunities in there and took advantage.
Weekend Warriors, Matthew Stafford and Davante Adams, who you just heard from, they definitely headline this list, guys. Obviously, Stafford with 5 passing touchdowns, and guess who caught 3 of them, Matthew?
Yeah, Davante Adams, who obviously made the love list. He was my number 3 wide receiver. The crazy thing is that, so I'm at wide receiver 3 without Puka, and given the matchup, as we head into Monday Night Football, he's wide receiver 6. Like, he scored 3 touchdowns, and yet he's still wide receiver 6, which is kind of the crazy day.
Yeah.
Just 5 for 35 here. It was a very efficient day for Matthew Stafford, the 5 passing touchdowns, as you mentioned, but only on 182 passing yards. The Jaguars couldn't get a lot going on offense, with the exception of Travis Hunter, which we'll talk about in a second. But, Stafford, by the way, since week 4 is the 5th best quarterback in fantasy. You need to throw touchdowns at a high rate because you don't run if you're a pocket passer to be good in fantasy. But last 4 games, 12 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 25 or more fantasy points in 3 of the past 4 games. He's unfortunately on a bye next week, but hopefully Puka is back when they get out of the bye to face the Saints at home.
Well, Jay, I'll tell you who does both. Drake May throws touchdowns and gets it done on the ground. 8 carries for 62 yards after a near-perfect passing day.
Yeah, incredibly efficient, 21 for 23. This is what he does in terms of EPA per play. The only quarterback materially ahead of Drake May this year is, ironically, Sam Darnold, of all people. But May has been playing like MVP ballot level. He's running as well, which makes you a little bit nervous. He had to leave the game for Josh Dobbs for a play because he did get his bell rung, so to speak. And so he goes 8 for 62 on the ground. And the Patriots have a very favorable schedule rest of the way.
Yes, they do. Welcome back, Rashee Rice, Matthew. You knew they were going to look for a touchdown for him, 2 of them in this game on 10 targets. No easing him in at all.
No, he looked like the guy we remember from last year, 29% target share. That was a team high. He was targeted on 52% of his routes. And by the way, Patrick Mahomes didn't play in the fourth quarter. Like, if there's no bigger insult than saying, Gardner Minshew, get on in there. And so that's what the Chiefs did. So he did this all in 3 quarters. 7 for 42, the 2 reception touchdowns, only a 48% route participation. But again, the starters only played for 3 quarters. So Rashee Rice back to being wide receiver 1 for what is one of, if not the best offense in football right now.
Travis Hunter, Jay, the game we've all been waiting for, but maybe not with the results Jacksonville hoped for, but he gets over 100 yards in a throw-heavy Jaguars script.
Looks like a guy that you take second overall, right?
Play on offense.
The key was 14 targets, and that was off of 7 targets last week. It's trending in that direction. He looked very much the part. He's making highlight Travis Hunter. This guy won the Heisman for a reason. To your point, Connie, would have been the number 1 player, a wide receiver drafted if he was only on that side of the ball. And so I think there's a good chance that he is the guy in Jacksonville going forward. Also, BTJ banged up, Damie Brown banged up. We'll see how they pull up, but I expect Travis Hunter, I think he's going to be a high, it's so much variance with Travis Hunter, right? He could easily be a high-end wide receiver 2 the rest of the way. He could be back to being a low-end flex. We just don't know, but I'd be betting on the upside.
I would agree. They have a bye next week, but 30% target share, 89% route participation in this league. And what's most important, it's why he made the love list on Thursday. We talked about him. Liam Cohen came out and said, we are designing more plays where he is the first read, where, we're putting that in. So, he made good on his promises. So, Duval. There you go. All right.
Yeah, our last one, Matthew, Trey McBride, who has a nice rapport with Jacoby Brissett.
3 touchdowns in 2 games with Jacoby Brissett. Meanwhile, 3 touchdowns in his last 21 games with Kyler Murray. 38% target share for Trey McBride. He's now had back-to-back games, 21 more fantasy points. If you have Trey McBride, you're hoping Jacoby stays the quarterback for a little while longer.
Sunday Scaries, headlined by Ashton Jeanty. This was a tough one here, Matthew. 6 carries for 21 yards in a game where the Raiders were flat out embarrassed.
They just got their ass kicked. Thank God for the Raiders. Otherwise, my Redskins would be my Commanders. Old habits die hard. My Commanders would have been the worst team in the NFL this year. He had 7 total touches in this game. They just got blown out. They're on a bye this upcoming week. Things will get better for Ashton Jeanty, but honestly, I think he's more of a high-end flex, low-end RB2
because of the scripts.
Because of the scripts, this is, we talked about it last week. Remember, I said sell high on this show last week after the big game. We're like, this might be his best game of the season. We talked about that. Anyway, this is a tough one. I do have to apologize though for all my back patting and saying you should have sold high on Ashton Jeanty last week. I also had Breece Hall on the love list this week, and yeah, that was bad. That was wrong. He was not good, Connor. Back-to-back games now with under 8 fantasy points.
Yeah, I think what hurt in this one, too, is that he got hurt. He left with looked like an ankle injury. He came back in the game. They asked him after, you came back in the game where you feel. He didn't look right, and he said, if I'm in the game, I'm in the game.
Playing.
But that injury completely derailed his day. But it has been a bad year for Breece Hall in terms of usage.
Yeah, good news, guys. I benched Travis Etienne. I benched Devontae Smith for Travis Etienne in a league where that cost me. Travis Etienne, it's tailed off. He was hugely dependent on big plays earlier in the year. He's not getting receiving work, and this offense is largely fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, he's on a bye next week. Jets, by the way, play Cincinnati next week. If Hall were to miss time, Isaiah Davis time. Might be pretty
just
interesting.
Isaiah Davis. They really don't have anyone else. T-Mac ran into Sauce Gardner Island in this one. Matthew only catches 3 for 33.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. They play Buffalo next week. They're going to have to throw quite a bit. T-Mac is fine. Jalen Waddle, again, the Dolphins' offense is just such a disaster. Very, very windy game. Questions about this offense, questions about Tua. Hopefully better days ahead for Jalen Waddle, but maybe not because they're at Atlanta next week, and that is a very good secondary. Probably more of a wide receiver 2 than the wide receiver 1 he's been since Tyreek Hill went down with an injury. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.